Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for August 2022. We're gonna jump right in here, Aries, and see what is going on for you. It's funny. You have this full moon in Cancer card. They're like, I don't know, there are like two or three moon and Cancer cards in this deck, and almost every single sign has had one or has had that card with the moon in Cancer. We just had that moon in Cancer a couple weeks ago now, or whenever that was, and I do feel that that moon was super important for like our emotions, but how we feel about something, because I feel that that moon was saying, like, if you feel that you should do something crazy in a good way, like, start a crazy business, or ask a person out, or do something that you feel is right, regardless of what other people's feelings are, regardless of whether or not you think it's going to be successful or not, right? If you do that, you could be very successful. And again, I feel like it's true basically for everyone. So, I feel like you still have a little bit of time because it's showing up here in the reading. So I would definitely say, if you feel that something is right, I would move towards it. I kind of feel like the universe is asking for, heroes right now. And I don't want to make it sound like dramatic, right? But what I mean by that is I feel like the universe is asking people to like do things that they feel is right, so that other people can have a person to look up to, right? I feel like everybody needs that right now. And so I feel that in your reading. You have this Mystic Meadow card. It says Sanctuary on it. For some of you, I feel like you've had a little bit of a shake-up in something that was a sanctuary for you. For some of, and the interesting thing is that it feels financial, right? That's how I feel intuitively on this card. And what I mean by that is, it's like, maybe you had a business and maybe there are some things that you have to do now that make it a little bit less peaceful. I'm not so sure that this is a bad thing or a good thing, if I'm being honest with you. I kind of feel both, if I'm being honest with you. I feel like it's like a good thing and a bad thing. Maybe there's more competition in your business. Maybe there are people that have come into your business that are, kind of rocking the boat a little bit. The nice thing here in this reading is I do believe it's something where it's like, you don't have to get rid of these people if there's people, that you don't have to be more competitive. That's not what the reading is saying. I feel like I feel you will be able to kind of correct the situation, based off the cards that are here. So again, if you had something that was peaceful and something has kind of made it a little bit less peaceful, I feel like you're kind of finding ways to bring it back to the sanctuary that it once was, right? And again, for some of you, it might require a little bit more work or something like that. It's not going to be, anything crazy, but, it definitely pops up here. You have the Tower, the Nine of Cups, and the Eight of Pentacles. Again, like I said, I feel like you've been brought back down to reality. Something feels a little bit dreamy. Something feels a little bit like it was maybe, kind of was at a place where it was just kind of nice, It's like, it reminds me of this channel. I'm not afraid to toot my own horn here, right? It's like, this channel basically grew a lot during COVID. Now things have kind of slowed down a little bit, and the videos don't get as many views. Not a complaint. I'm just giving you an example here, Aries, because trust me, I am more than grateful for the amount of views. Like, I never thought in a million years that I would get this amount. So, like I said, not a complaint at all, period. But, during COVID, it's like, obviously people were home, all this other stuff. And the reason I'm saying this is I get that feeling for you, where it's like kind of like something, something has maybe taken the after COVID dip or something like that. I don't know, it needs a name, right? So I feel like something has maybe kind of entered into this period where it's like things were good, you were on a high. That's really what the Tower means. These people, they've built this tower up around them. And the reason the tower is falling is because they're being brought back down to reality. So it's like things were a little bit maybe unrealistic, a little bit overinflated during COVID. It's like now things are coming back down. Again, I don't think this is a bad thing. Maybe a little bit scary because, you see things coming down. But, this is life. Number one, things go up, things go down. And then they go back up again, right? But I kind of feel that there is a little bit of a reality check. I feel you've already experienced it, like I said, because, this is your past position. So it's something you've already experienced. I feel like you want to get back to the good feeling. Nine of Cups is a card of wishes and wish fulfillment. And again, if this is, this could be have been in a relationship, could have been in anything in your life. But I feel like I definitely feel that energy of wanting to, get back to the good times, get back to a good feeling, where you felt like things were maybe more going your way, where you felt like things were a little bit more, I don't want to use the word fair, but, I will. So I feel like you want to get back to that energy. Nine of Cups is kind of a card of fulfillment. So I feel like you want to get back to fulfillment. The Eight of Pentacles, I feel, like on one hand, I feel the Eight of Pentacles is like just saying, keep doing whatever you're doing right now, Aries. Eight of Pentacles, he's just kind of like working. Whatever he's working on, it is a card of diligent work, not necessarily hard work, but he is very focused on what he's doing. And it's also a card of material success on the horizon. So I feel like there is a lot of, there are a lot of benefits coming in for you here with the Eight of Pentacles. And, I kind of like it. I do feel like you're very focused on work with that Eight of Pentacles. So for the most part, maybe some of you aren't necessarily focused on love or anything like that. Next, you have this full moon in Cancer. Says a personal issue reaches a resolution. It's funny, didn't I say something about kind of like that you will fix this situation? There you go. You also have this hawk spirit. The hawk is about being a visionary and kind of like seeing things before they happen. So number one, I do feel like you will be reaching a resolution in a situation. I don't know why, but I get like the feeling that I feel like I said this to you last week as well in one of the weekly readings, maybe for the week of the 25th of July or something. Like, I get this feeling that for some of you, this could be a divorce. You might, I know most people look at that as a bad thing, but maybe for you, it's a good thing with that full moon in Cancer card. With the hawk, I get these words branching out. Those are the words that are popping into my head. For a very long time, I need a whiteboard because for like a very long time, I've been getting this image in my head. It's like a circle. I know this is going to sound so dumb, but it's like a circle with a bunch of circles around it. And, I really feel that in the future, what this circle means is that people will kind of like have their main thing, like a job, and then maybe we'll have like some side hustles around it. Or if you have a business, you might have the business, but then you might have things that are related that kind of either support the business. Could be like social media that you're growing to help support the business. Could be, consulting businesses that do what you do in business. It's like you're doing something extra. And here's the thing. Is that the beautiful thing is, I don't think this has to be extra work for you here, Aries. But I do feel for those of you that are in business, it's like you could be expanding what you're doing. It's like, I could easily, I do have a tarot course, but I could easily teach people also how to read tarot, and it really wouldn't be any extra work for me to do it because I already have everything set up, right? I already know how to do it, so it'd be easy for me to do that. And I get that feeling for you where you could be, it's like you maybe have a business and you could be teaching people how to have that type of business. Maybe you have, it could be anything, basically, but I kind of just see you branching out. Those are the words that I get here. You have the High Priestess, the King of Swords, and the Strength card. King of Swords, interestingly enough, has been showing up quite a bit this week. King of Swords is my card of an expert or a mentor, and whenever he shows up like a bunch of times during weeklies or monthlies, I always kind of think like, oh, maybe it's a time for people to solve problems very quickly. The King of Swords, he can represent an expert, and again, gender doesn't matter here. It could be male, female, whatever, but usually just represents someone who knows more than you about something. And so if you have a problem, even if you don't have a problem, maybe you're just looking to grow your business. Maybe you're looking to improve your relationship. King of Swords represents a person who can kind of give you a big boost with some information. Or again, if you're dealing with an issue, for sure, hire an expert. If you have a health issue, go to the doctor. You have a legal issue, go to a lawyer, right? Represents someone who can solve your problem very, very quickly. And again, whenever he shows up multiple times, which he has in these monthly readings, I always think like, it's a really good time to do that. So if you've been waiting to like solve a problem, this could represent an expert. For others, I feel like you're the expert, like I said. Sorry. So you could be sharing your expertise here. I feel like you have the Hermit up here, so it's hard to see, but my new setup finally should be here today. I mean, my old setup, but it's finally getting delivered and everything today. And so thank God, I'll be able to show you in the near future, right? But in this diagonal, you go Eight of Pentacles, the King of Swords to the Hermit. It's like Eight of Pentacles card of mastering a craft, King of Swords being the master, and then Hermit, not sharing. So I feel like something needs to be shared here, Aries. I feel like you need to let something out. Even the High Priestess is kind of like a little bit of a holding back energy. I do feel some of you could be dealing with a Pisces. I'm not so sure what's going on here. It feels either like you're divorcing a Pisces, quite frankly, or if you're not divorcing a Pisces, there's something that, sorry, that COVID cough. I've been trying to kick it for weeks. But it feels a little bit like hidden with that Hermit card. Somebody needs to open up here if you are like talking with a Pisces or dealing with a Pisces here. You have the strength card as well. I feel like you've been very patient. I have a lot of energy in Aries myself personally, and I'm not very patient, so I totally get it. But I feel like you have been very patient and kind of like waiting to do something. To me, this is a card of showing off as well, but we're talking about showing off in a good way. We're not talking about like showing off in a negative way. We're talking about showing off a skill or a talent, gift, skill, or ability. She has her hands in a lion's mouth, and I always say, like, who in their right mind would stick their hands in a lion's mouth? Nobody is the answer. So I kind of feel like it's time for you to show off some sort of skill or talent, or it's time for you to kind of release something here. I think one of the other signs this week or this month had something about like needing to expose kind of like a skill, talent, gift, skill, or ability. And it's kind of funny because at the beginning of the year, I said that probably the biggest thing for people in 2022, like one of the bigger fears, would be the fear of exposure, the fear of being exposed, or being kind of like being found out to not know what you are actually doing, even though you do know exactly what you're doing. It's kind of like that whole imposter syndrome type of feeling. So if you have a talent, gift, skill, or ability, I feel like it's time to reveal it. Next, you have this mending card. So again, clearly, I feel like you are healing or correcting any situation like we talked about in the beginning of the reading. You have the Hermit, the Three of Wands, and the Queen of Swords. You have the King and Queen of Swords here. Basically, this first diagonal is Tower, King of Swords, Queen of Swords. Clearly two people who can't see eye to eye. I feel like you are leaving a situation with a person where you can't see eye to eye. And again, that feels like a love situation for me. I feel like saying 3 years. I don't trust psychic timing at all, period. So take it with a grain of salt. But I have 3 years popping into my head, or 3 or 4 years, something like that, popping into my head. Again, to me, the universe doesn't wear a watch. So, that's why I basically don't trust psychic timing. But that's what I'm getting popping into my head. So I feel like you could be ending a situationship, something that's been kind of like burning for a long time with that Tower card. It feels like something that is just kind of not ended, even, if that story's for you, I feel like you're ending it, basically. But I feel like you're just opening up to something new. I always say Queen of Swords, she's like cautiously optimistic. She has her sword up, but she has her hand out. She's willing and ready to start something new, potentially in love. You have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands encourages you to get out into the world. Three of Wands is like, what are you waiting for here, Aries? So I feel like something needs to be, again, revealed or released into the world, whatever it is that you're doing. And, I would just do it. Here you go. You have the Hermit. The story of the Hermit is that his feet are frozen in place, but he could easily take his lantern, put it down by his feet, and he could set himself free. So, long story short here, I feel like something needs to be revealed, probably like some sort of hidden talent, gift, skill, or ability, or something that you've been working on for a long time with this Eight of Pentacles. To go from the Eight of Pentacles, again, to the King of Swords right here, I mean, to me, that is like mastering something. I mean, literally, the King of Swords, he doesn't just have like knowledge, he has wisdom. He has, he's put his knowledge into practice. I always say that the King of Swords is, having wisdom is just that like one next level. It's you can learn from books all day long, right? But until you put something into practice, you don't actually know anything. And not only that, until you put something into practice, you don't actually know what works and what doesn't work. I always think the King of Swords, like me, for example, again, not to talk about myself, but like this YouTube channel, there are things I do that like so many YouTube experts say don't work, right? But they work for me. So to me, that is the difference between knowledge and wisdom. It's like someone can tell you something all day long, and it doesn't mean they're wrong either. It just means maybe something didn't work for them. But until you put something into practice, you don't actually know. And you might be missing out on something as well. The reason I'm saying this again is because I feel that for you with that King of Swords. I feel like something needs to be put into practice. With the Tower, you have the Sun. Love it. Definitely that is correction right there, from going from Tower to Sun. It's like happiness. You've gotten through the worst of it, I feel, Aries. I love this reading, as always. I feel like it's a good year for you. Again, it could be that Jupiter, in your sign, basically. And, it's going to be going back into Pisces, but next year it'll be in your sign. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Temperance card. Remember what I said about that Nine of Cups? I feel like you've been trying to get back to that feeling, which is funny. Temperance is like turning water into wine, trying to turn one thing into another. And so I feel like you're trying to turn your current situation back to this sanctuary that maybe you had created. It's like I imagine like a sanctuary, like a garden. And, it's like one of those things where to have a sanctuary, like a garden, you have to take care of it. You have to nurture it. And I feel like maybe your garden was growing great, at a certain period. And it's like now it's time to get the weeds out, right? With the Eight of Pentacles, you have the Ten of Pentacles. Definitely love it. A lot of abundance coming in for you. I don't know why you're worried about money. I get money worries here, Aries. Again, maybe there's just been like a little bit of a dip or something like that in your financial life, but I see money going back up for you if it has been going down. I see you just like looking for ways to make more money in general, side hustles. Like I said, the circles that probably made no sense to anyone. But I fell on my head when I was 10. So, these things make sense in the traumatic brain injury that I had, right? With the High Priestess, you have the Nine of Swords. Get out of your head. I feel like Nine of Swords is kind of like a card of being your own worst enemy. So it is a card of like having a nightmare, waking up, being stuck in a nightmare. But he could choose to, I always say this is like my card of choosing to be the bug or the windshield. There's a person here. One person's getting hit with a sword. The other person is holding the sword. It's kind of like you have a choice. With the King of Swords, you have the Four of Cups. If you're leaving a situation, I feel like you're choosing your own happiness. Nine of Cups, the Sun, Ten of Pentacles. It's like you're, something with a person. I feel just there was no fulfillment with the person, so you're probably choosing your own fulfillment. With the Strength card, you have the Ten of Wands. I feel like you have become very strong. I literally feel that the Ten of Wands is like weights. Like he's carried a heavy burden, but because of it, he is becoming stronger. Literally. I literally feel that you have developed like inner strength, and this could be something that you're showing to the world. I feel like you have maybe been developing, other types of strength that you are kind of showing to the world as well. With the Hermit, you have the Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles is like holding on too tightly to the past. I would just say like, what am I getting? There's a saying that isn't popping into my head. It doesn't matter, but it's not. You can't teach old dog new tricks. That's not the thing here. But I feel like don't be a one trick pony is what I'm getting here. Everything has to do with animals with me or plants, right? But what I would say here is I feel like this is saying like keep doing, especially in work and business, maybe there's some old tricks that work. Keep doing those things. There's nothing wrong with doing what works. But I feel that Four of Pentacles is encouraging you to maybe try some new tricks, to try some new things in, business, but not just business, other areas of your life as well. It's like, maybe some things in your love life are getting boring. It's like if we do the same thing over and over and over again with a partner, it's probably going to get boring. So we need to try new things, keep the romance alive, do things differently. And, I kind of feel like that Four of Pentacles, not a bad thing. I think it's just saying, try new things, basically. With the Three of Wands, you have the Five of Wands. Again, it's funny that I said competition at the beginning of the reading. I do feel you've experienced some maybe competition or, people have been competitive or whatever you want to call it. But I really feel you're getting away from that. To me, the Five of Wands is a card, I call it Indiana Jones. To me, it's like a card of going on some sort of crazy adventure and finding some treasure. The Three of Wands is a card of going on an adventure. So I would say if you're thinking about going on any adventures at all, period, could be any type of adventure. Could be travel, but it could be another type of adventure like starting a relationship, starting a business. I feel like there's a lot of treasure in that for you. And with the Queen of Swords, you have the Hierophant. This whole entire reading is like saying that you've learned a lot. And another card of mastery. He has 3 levels to his crown and to the wand or the staff that he's holding. And those 3 levels represent initiation, apprenticeship, and mastery. So I really feel you've like mastered something here, Aries. But now it's time to like, put it into practice is really what I would say. I love this reading for you. A lot of good stuff coming up for you here. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your Sun, Moon, and Rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your month.